Hey folks, welcome to another edition of PlayBranson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. My name is Chris Meyer. I'm going to be your host for today's show. And on today's show, we're going to do something a little bit different. Every blue moon, we will have somebody from an attraction on our show. And so today I have Faith Bavo, who's in the sales and marketing department over at WonderWorks, and she's going to be on the show today. And so we're looking forward to talking to her about what is WonderWorks. You won't want to miss that. Here's the deal. This is the last show of the year. And did you guys know that we have now been doing this show for 6 years? That's pretty amazing when you think about it. And this is actually the 266th episode. And so if you're like, man, I want to know something about an entertainer in Branson, go back and look in our on our website or on even Facebook on our archives, because we have interviewed a ton of people. We're always trying to get to new entertainers that we haven't interviewed. It gets harder to do that as time goes on, but we're just committed to sharing the stories of our entertainers, and we really believe Branson is one of the great and really only family entertainment destinations in the country, and our entertainers have so much more to their story than what you would get on stage. And so our goal is to help share that message, number one, but also to help encourage you to go to our Branson shows, because that's what makes us unique and different. So folks, we'll be back in just a second with Faith Bavo.
The Christmas season is a perfect time for family traditions. Branson's Lights of Joy, Branson's all-LED Christmas display drive-thru, is a great way to create those lasting Christmas memories. Discover over 250 Christmas displays in an amazing drive-thru tunnel with state-of-the-art lighting. Branson's Lights of Joy is located just north of Sight and Sound Theater on Expressway Lane, open nightly through January 2nd. Santa loves these lights and will be there on select nights. Visit lightsofjoydrivethru.com for more info and to book online.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson, and on today's show I'm doing something a little bit different. We do this every once in a while where we have somebody from an attraction come in, and so Faith Bavo.
Yes, sir. That's
Welcome to the show. You're with WonderWorks.
Yes.
And so we want to talk a lot about WonderWorks, but before we do that, we want to get to know you and your background better. And so tell us what your title is over at WonderWorks first.
Yes. So I am the sales and marketing manager, and I also am the groups manager. So I handle all the groups that come through WonderWorks as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get into this business, or what led you to Branson and your career here?
Yeah, that's a good question. So originally what led me to Branson was because I was going to College of the Ozarks. So I went there to get my bachelor's degree, and I have my degree in communication arts, but it has an emphasis in public relations. And then I also have a social media minor.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and it was one of those majors that I did not think I was going to be doing, but I know for sure it's where I need to be and where I'm supposed to be. I actually originally was wanting to work with animals and be a vet, and
that's a big difference, right?
Yes. Well, that's what's so funny about it, is it's like I never thought that I'd be doing what I'm doing, but it's just totally exactly what I need to be doing. I still love animals, but that's one of those things where it's like, okay, that's not where my skill sets are as far as like science and math, those kinds of things. And I quickly realized that communication was what I wanted to do, and what I'm good at. So as I kind of was going through college, about a year or two in, I realized, okay, something is not clicking. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I had an advisor who kind of told me, hey, I see something in you that you may not want to do, but I'm going to tell you need to do it, and you're going to probably end up doing it. And I said, I don't know. And she told me public relations. And so I kind of pushed it aside, and then I quickly realized, okay, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, so it was, I owe, thanks to her, and I always remind her, like, you brought me where I am now. And so it's a pretty cool story. And so, yeah, so I graduated from College of the Ozarks in 2021 in May. And then kind of had a job in between that where I was doing a little bit of marketing, but it was a restaurant. So I was doing marketing, but also working at the restaurant as a supervisor. And then this opportunity showed up on Indeed, actually. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. It's not, I haven't had a job in this career yet or in this field, but I'm going to try it out and see. And so a day later, I got a response from them and interviewed, and I've been there since. So I started in January, so I'm coming up on 1 year.
There you go.
Yeah.
What an exciting thing. I think your story is interesting because you're headed down one direction, but you're like, here's this other direction. And you can see that you are a good communicator, number one. And so you have passion for what you do. And so I love that.
Thank you.
And for me, and I've been in Branson a long time, but it's good to see young people in these sales and marketing roles in Branson. And we're always on this show, we're always talking about, because we feel like, and maybe there's not, but that Branson and it in some categories was branded as just a place for old people.
Oh yeah.
And so we've really, if you watch this show anytime at all, we've dispelled this myth and rumor.
You push it away,
and it doesn't mean that we don't like old people and that old people or older people or senior people are not important, because they're extremely important to our destination. But people need to realize there's a big variety of people here in this town.
Sure is.
And you're a perfect example of that. Where did you grow up?
Well, that's kind of a funny story. So I was born in Michigan. Somehow I'm down here. But when I was about 5 or 6, that's when we moved to California. So then I spent most of my time growing up there, and then moved in, I believe it was like 2011, 2012, we moved to Arkansas. And so then I kind of spent high school there in Bentonville, and I love Northwest Arkansas. Okay. So yeah, both of those areas, that area and here are just home to me. Okay. And so, so then, of course, I'd visit Branson all the time, with my family. So it's kind of crazy that I would see this as like, oh my gosh, like what a fun place. And I just loved coming here with my family, and now I get to work here. So
there you go. Are you a Razorback fan?
Well, I say Woo Pig sometimes, but they were the Heartbreak Hogs there for a while, but they're doing a little better. They still haven't gotten out of that fully, but.
But if you said no, I was going to be really disappointed, to be honest with you. If you live in Arkansas, and I grew up in Arkansas, folks, but if you live in Arkansas for any length of time, you should be a Razorback fan.
You have to be.
Yes. Okay, so we got that out of the way.
Yes.
So you've taken over this job, and you're now starting your career. You just got married, and so you're gung ho into life.
Yes.
And what do you, besides your job, what do you like about Branson?
What I like about Branson is that there's such a variety of things to do, not just what show do I want to see, Fritz's Adventure, WonderWorks, places like that, where you can get up, get moving, and things you really haven't experienced anywhere else. But aside from that, what I think is really unique about Branson is the fact that we have all of these attractions and shows, but we also have the nature side of things. So there's a lot of things you can do if you love nature, which I do. You can watch a show, but then in that same day you can go on a hike or go kayaking. And so I think that's what's really unique about the Ozarks is, it's full encompassing. If you don't want to go sit and watch a show, every day you're here, you can kind of break it up and go to the lake one day, kind of do a variety of things. So,
folks, that's what we call neon in nature. So there you go. And there's not a lot of places you can do that.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's what I always say. Branson appeals to a wide variety of people because there is so much to do, and there's really more here to do than most tourist destinations in the United States.
I agree.
And I think sometimes if we live here, we kind of don't realize that, but you just got to go to other places and you're like, man, we do have a lot here to do. And that's why a lot of people, when they come here on vacation, they then end up moving here as well. And then they're, I guess, tourists all the time. So, okay, we're going to be back in just a second more with Faith, and we're going to hear all about WonderWorks. What is WonderWorks? So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We got Faith Bavo from WonderWorks here with me. And Faith, maybe someone has no clue what WonderWorks is. They're just like, what are you talking about? So give us the scoop.
Yeah, so here's kind of the gist of what I usually tell people so they can get a good idea of what we are. So we have 3 floors, over 100 exhibits. We're kind of like an amped up science museum. We're very hands-on, very interactive, and really with every exhibit we have, you can learn so much too. So kind of how it works is when you get your ticket, you can go up and down the 3 floors as you want to. All the exhibits are open for you to have fun with. We've even got laser tag. And just to kind of highlight a couple of the science-y type exhibits we have a bubble lab, so you can do like giant bubbles. We have a bed of nails where you can lay down in the bed of nails, have fun with that, but also learn too, so we have signs everywhere that kind of explain the science behind what you're looking at. We have a Tesla coil, you can touch lightning. So we have all kinds of stuff that you probably haven't seen anywhere else. We have 6 locations total, so Branson's is actually the most recent location, and we're the biggest location.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's lots of fun.
So I know you have one in Orlando, I know you have one in Pigeon Forge, but I don't know where the other ones are.
Yeah, so Orlando, Pigeon Forge, we've got one in Syracuse, New York. That one is the only one that's in a mall, so that's kind of cool. We've got Panama City Beach, and then Branson, and then there's another one.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We'll forget about that.
I was like, I know these, but
So you guys are located on where the Ball Knobbers Theater sat, and your company bought that theater and basically redid the whole thing. And so when people drive by, what are they going to see from the outside?
They will see a giant upside down building. We stick out like a sore thumb. It's really hard to miss us. Honestly, even across, like way across town, you can look over and see us. So yeah, just a giant upside down house. And we have lots of fun in there. So yeah, it's a sight to see. And
so when you walk into the lobby area, it's almost like you're upside down in the lobby area. Now, you mentioned the educational aspect, and I'm going to say I really don't care if I learn anything when I go in there. I'm just going to say that, and that's not against them, but I don't.
You want to have fun.
I just want to have fun, and so you can go in there not with like an educational mindset.
No, yeah.
And so let's talk. I want to talk about a couple of the things, especially right on the first floor when you come in. You have this like 3D. I don't know. You tell me about it.
Yes. So we have our XD theater, which is so cool. It's like a 3D movie theater, but it has moving seats and it has these big fans and kind of more stimulating than just a 3D movie. And it doesn't show like a full-length movie. They're probably about 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, and they're so fun. It's like some of them you're on a roller coaster, some of them you're going through canyons and like a little canyon coaster, all kinds of stuff. That's like one of my favorite exhibits actually.
And so I like doing that. And then right next to that, you have this bike deal where you can pedal this bike and literally go upside down and around. And
exactly. Yeah. So those are our 360 bikes. So when you're on those, if you pedal fast enough and hard enough, you can go all the way around. And those are for your adrenaline seekers.
Yes. And so if you don't want to do it, of course, you don't have to. But then. And so those are things on the first floor I remember now. I've been on the second floor as well. And on the second floor, one of the things I remember is you kind of have another video simulator where you get in a capsule.
Yes.
And so talk about that one.
Yeah, so that is, and kind of what you're highlighting are our 5 major rides. Okay. So that's our third one, so that's our roller coaster simulator. That one is so much fun. So you go in, you select like a difficulty, I guess you'd say, and then it feels like you're really on a roller coaster.
It does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, and we've got people of all ages. I mean, we had a 92-year-old ride that not too long ago, and he had an absolute blast. So, just if you like adrenaline type things like that, you'll love it.
Yeah, and there's all these other different activities. I know, once again, on the second floor, can't you stand in where it's like a wind tunnel where
Yes.
it's like a hurricane or something like that?
Yeah, actually, so that is on our 3rd floor.
Okay.
And that, but you're remembering a lot about the building. So our 3rd floor is kind of cool because it's our space and weather themed floor. So we have our hurricane shack, which is where you can go in and you experience what hurricane type winds would be like. And with that, you get to learn kind of what the, like on the beach when they have the red flags, double red flags, stuff like that. All of those flag warnings, there's signs up that kind of explain those to you. So again, learning and having fun.
There's something I haven't done, and I call it, and you might call it something different, is like the gyroscope.
No, it is a gyroscope.
So you've got one of those where people can get in, and those twist your body every which way.
Yep.
If somebody wants to come there and eat, they can, right?
They sure can, yes. So we have 2 cafes. We have one on our 1st and one on our 3rd floor. We do pizzas. We do, honestly, those foods that you go, to a baseball game or a fair, those guilty pleasure foods. We have funnel fries. We've got ballpark hot dogs and, all kinds of really good stuff. We have tater tots. So, you can eat there for sure.
What's the average amount of time somebody typically stays at WonderWorks?
Good question. So typically what I like to tell folks is it takes about 3 to 4 hours, but your tickets are all-day tickets. So you can come and go, if you guys wanted to catch a show in between, you can go catch a show, come back. So that's what's really nice about it. Yeah. A general rule of thumb, I'd say about 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about hours. Are you open year-round?
We are. Yeah, we're open 365 days a year.
So you don't even close on Christmas?
We don't even close on Christmas.
So, a lot of people like to go to movies on Christmas because there's nothing else open. But here's just an example of something else open on Christmas.
Fun.
Now, here's what else I will tell you all is Lights of Joy, Christmas Light Drive-Thru, and a lot of other drive-thrus are also open on Christmas. So even if you're in Branson on Christmas, there's things to do.
Yeah, there really is.
So 365, and what, you normally open at 10, 9, or does it vary?
Yes, we always open at 10. Sometimes in the winter, January and February, we may close at 7. But other than that, and that's something we'd post about, but other than that, we're open till 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So folks, any day you can go, and you'll take birthday parties. You'll take. Of course, we mentioned laser tag. You've got that. I mean, there are a lot of things inside this building, and I think if you haven't been there, I think you'll be surprised. And then even on the 3rd floor, they've got a ton of arcade games. Right?
Yes.
3rd floor.
You got it.
Okay, I got that right. So I've been a couple times there, and so I always have a lot of fun when I go. Normally, I don't have enough time because we're there on a quick jaunt. We're showing people what's in town when we go there.
Exactly.
And in fact, we took a bunch of people in Faith this year, and Faith kind of guided us around and did a great job at that. And so,
thank you.
Anyway, if you haven't been to WonderWorks, go check them out. They're not closing. They're open, and they're out on West 76 Country Boulevard. And what's the address? Do you know? I put her on the spot.
I think I know it usually, but see on the spot, it's like, ugh.
It's less than the 3,000 numbers, I can tell you that. It's in between probably 1,000 and 3,000. And it's over there by...
It's 2716.
There we go, 2716.
Yes.
Sometimes it's fun just to do that.
Yep.
Just pulling it up.
And so right past the Grand Village, if you know where that is, right past the aquarium, right, kind of across from the Clarion, right next to Getting Basted, all in that area. You can't miss it. It's the Upside Down building. And so, folks, we'll be back in just a second to wrap this show up.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back. We're going to wrap the show up today. We want to thank Faith for coming. And if you haven't been over to WonderWorks, check it out. They're open every day. And so there's a lot of things that close down in Branson for a month, 2 months, but they do not. And there's lots of other attractions that actually stay open year round. So folks, you can do things in the off season here in Branson. You can schedule those little getaways, those if you've got cabin fever, get out of your town and come on to Branson, even in our off season. And there's outdoor activities, there's shopping, there's a lot of things still going on, and you can still have fun in Branson in our off season. Once again, I want to thank you for supporting this show, and also our magazine that we do. We look forward to a bigger, better, and brighter 2023, and we will be back next year, probably, I don't know, maybe February, March, somewhere in that time with new episodes. And then once again, we do episodes typically every day, not every day, every week. I ain't going to do one every day. That'd be too hard. Anyway, but let us know what you'd like to see coming up in 2023. Go to our Facebook page, send us a message, and we'll do our best to meet your request. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you next year. Happy New Year.